And a judge sentences the man he calls the state's most infamous criminal, who's even bypassed Billy the Kid. Doug Vaughan defrauded hundreds of victims out of more than $75 million through a real estate Ponzi scheme.
Late this afternoon, a federal judge gave Vaughan 12 years in prison. For some victims who lost everything, justice was not served by that, but the U.S. attorney says it's the best outcome possible. News 13's Alex Goldsmith is live outside federal court in Santa Fe. Alex?
Dick, Jessica, federal judge Bruce Black did not hold back in his words to convicted Ponzi schemer Doug Vaughan. He said Vaughan destroyed lives, betrayed friends, called him despicable, even called him the most infamous criminal in New Mexico history. But after all that, Judge Black accepted Vaughan's plea deal and gave him 12 years in federal prison. He'll start serving that time in 2 days. Vaughan sold millions of real estate investments across the country to about 600 investors, promising big returns. He then used that money to pay earlier investors and fund a life of luxury. The scheme fell apart in 2010. Vaughan has been ordered to pay $75 million in restitution, although victims likely won't see a dime until after Vaughan's prison term is up. In court, Vaughan said he takes responsibility for his crimes, says he's found God, and prays for the time to pay his victims back. The U.S. attorney says while the victims may want a longer sentence, this was the best possible outcome given Vaughan's age and given the need to save taxpayer dollars.
What we have here is a certain outcome that I think a lot of the victims out there can look to and hopefully get used to get beyond this.
He's given everything back to the trustees in this case. He's lost his house, he's lost all of his belongings, he's lost everything in his life, and now the government will get to support him over the next 12 years.
Doug Vaughan will be at the youngest, 75 years old, by the time he gets out of federal prison, could be even older than that. After 12 years in prison, Vaughan will have 6 years supervised release. The plea deal resolves a civil case and bankruptcy case that were against him as well. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Alex. Now, according to Vaughan's attorney, he will serve 2 years in a regular federal medium security prison, then will be moved to a minimum facility for the rest of his sentence. 4 of Vaughan's victims spoke at that sentencing, what they had to say coming up tonight at 10.